In these modern social media times, we're seeing more and more NBA stars hosting their own podcasts or producing original video content on YouTube from their own perspective. JJ Redick and LeBron literally dropped a bomb with their Mind the Game podcast, which is racking up millions of views every episode. Clearly, it's all working out really well over there in the US, so let's see what the situation is in Europe. First, I gotta talk about Chima Moneke from Baskonia. He is the man when it comes to basketball pros producing content. He is him. I guess I should say he is the only man, because out of all the 250 plus EuroLeague players, he is the only one making YouTube videos. And oh man, Chima set the bar way up there. Not only is he consistent, not only his level of production is great and getting better, but at the same time he's balling out of his mind. The guy is literally in the conversation for first or second all EuroLeague team this season. But let's stick to the content itself, and I will tell you why I think that Chima Moneke's channel is a must follow, must subscribe for every subscriber of our channel and just anyone who loves basketball. First of all, honesty. Chima has little to no filter in his videos and really lets you know what it is like to be a professional basketball player. One thing you could expect a basketball player to do is to stay reserved and not open up for the public, especially here in Europe. Why do I say that? Well, it's no secret how much more influence coaches in Europe have when compared to the ones in the NBA. This influence isn't just on the court, but off the court too. There have been stories of coaches giving, or in many cases not giving, permissions for players to go out or give media interviews, and if someone doesn't obey, well, they might just end up on the bench the next game just for their extracurricular activities. That isn't to say that players should be able to just go out, go partying all night and then show up to the practice hungover or something like that. No. But what I'm trying to address is the fact that some of these teams and their coaches are trying to limit when the players are able to talk to the media. I think players should be visible, and that's how the league could grow if players were more visible and they become more interesting to the fans. But there's this stubborn mentality in Europe that if a player goes out and, let's say, does an interview or, shoots a video or anything like that during their free time, that's gonna, in one way or another, just affect the team's performance, because the game is very important. Just look at the NBA stars who are doing podcasts before or after games. It doesn't affect anyone's play. And Chima himself is a great example of it. He's having probably his best season individually, and at the same time, he's also producing the best European basketball content right now. Secondly, you should definitely follow Chima Moneke's channel, because he is a natural entertainer. He's got the charisma, but also a great sense of what people want to see and hear. It's not something we often see in Europe either, a player with a personality, but that's what Chima brings in both on the court and in his videos. I'm not gonna start breaking down what makes him so entertaining, you'll just have to go and watch yourself. Otherwise, Moneke's variety of content is another part that needs some applause. I mean, you got these game day videos where he shows all the behind the scenes of a EuroLeague game day, from personal routine things to traveling with the team, cameos from his teammates, highlights of the game, and interactions with the fans. And that's just the game day vlogs. He also has done interviews with his teammates. One was actually while playing horse with Marcus Howard, which was a nice creative approach. Then Chima often sits down and answers the most interesting questions from the fans, or just does storytime videos revealing things from his perspective you didn't know. Again, coming back to his honesty, Chima recently made a video on his career earnings, openly talking about how much money in his career he has made so far. And I think that's content you won't find anywhere else. Big shout out to Chima Moneke. If you're watching, keep on doing what you're doing. I think you're only gonna grow bigger, and the bar is set really high now. Before I talk about the next player making content in Europe, a quick thank you to Hostinger, the all-in-one shop when it comes to creating your own website. Hostinger provides not only hosting services, but also has a website builder that's powered by AI. Instead of spending hours learning to code or using unoriginal templates, you can just type in a text prompt and customize a website from scratch in minutes. Use our code BNEWS10 and get an additional 10% discount on all hosting plans. Right, so another basketball pro who has been active on YouTube is Trey Drechsel from SL Benfica. Obviously, some of you, just like me, would think about SL Benfica first in terms of football, and yeah, before I actually encountered his channel, I didn't know much about him as a player. But he's been making content for quite a while now, starting back in 2021 with his first video on his experience playing overseas. Trey actually got some traction on his videos right away, as he was with Partizan Belgrade at the time. And yeah, he's been consistently uploading every few weeks or so, and now has over 200 videos on his channel, providing a bit of a different perspective from Chima Moneke's. I mean, first of all, the videos are way more chilled out, the pacing is slower, and I guess that just reflects on the personality of Trey when compared to Chima. But it's not just that, I think I could just read his channel description and it really answers all the questions. A current overseas basketball player trying to be the mentor I wish I had while figuring out my basketball journey. I'll show you everything overseas hoops, plus a continued emphasis on the importance of being great in your pursuit of greatness. Basically, his approach is less about being super entertaining and more about being educational. He's spreading the knowledge to all aspiring basketball players who are maybe considering just moving overseas and playing professional basketball in Europe. In terms of the type of content Trey's making, he also does game day vlogs, Q&As, and some storytime videos. But also there are videos where Trey showcases his private workouts, which I find very useful for any young basketball players who want to make it to the pro level. So Trey is doing God's work with these videos, not only talking about the things that are important, but actually giving useful tips and encouraging guys to follow along. But even if you're not trying to become a basketball player yourself, Trey's videos are great, so I think you should just check them out and give him a follow. So there it is. I guess I just wanted to showcase the basketball pro players who are making content on YouTube in Europe. I think that's great, and if media guys like us, let's say BasketNews, are only able to give the spotlight every now and then, I'm really happy that the players themselves are doing that, and I hope that more and more do in the future. Once again, make sure to check out those two channels, subscribe to ours, and I'll see you in the next one.